Welcome back to another Charlotte Legacy League video where we have Dimir Scam versus Show and Tell. Both players kept 7 and Robert's going to be on the play. He's playing the Show and Tell tonight, and we'll see him lead off on an island and a Lotus Petal. Coming back over to Chase's side, he's just going to play land and pass the turn. See if Robert has anything he wants to do. He's going to cast a Brainstorm here and try and put his hand together to get an early Show and Tell against this Scam deck. Both decks have a pretty good chance against each other, I'd say. Scam being able to rip apart Robert's hand, and Robert being able to just put a big creature in play that the Scam deck has a hard time dealing with. Once a Grizzlebrand or an Attrax or something like that is resolved off of a Show and Tell, or even a Sneak Attack, it becomes a very difficult matchup for Robert. We'll see, or not Robert, but for Chase. Sorry about that. We'll see a cycle on that Troll Khazad-dûn, and we'll see a reanimate. So something that Mark Rosewater always says is that people don't understand the stack. So we'll see that in action right here. If there's any questions about that, leave a comment below, and I'll try and break it down for you a little bit more. So it looks like Robert's going to go for the Force of Will here, and he's going to pitch a Daze to it. And Chase will follow that up with his own Daze. Returning the tapped Underground Seed to his hand, leaving the untapped one available in case Robert tries to daze him. I'm not quite sure why Robert wouldn't just pay the 1 off the daze unless Chase has another daze. In that case, that becomes a big setback, I guess, for Robert. He's already returned the land to his hand to daze Chase himself, who can pay the mana for it. And I believe he's probably going to do that because a 6/5 triple menace is pretty good. So yeah, that's what Chase is going to do. We'll see that troll come back into play. Chase is going to take lose 6 life off of that reanimate and pass it back over to Robert. See if he does have a Show and Tell in his hand, which is promising. We'll see him preordained, trying to find maybe a little bit more gas or another land for him to be able to play that Show and Tell that's in his hand. With that Show and Tell, he could put Attrax into play as well. So he's going to pass that back over to Chase, not wanting to leave himself open to daze. Chase is going to attack for 6 here. Robert can't do anything about it at the moment. So Robert will take that 6 damage, and we'll probably see a pass back over to... Oh, yeah, 1 more damage because he did Force of Will. So Robert at 13 now. He does have the Ancient Tomb that he just picked up off of that last preordained. So he is daze proof at the moment, so we'll see a Show and Tell. And if Chase has anything to say about that, or did he burn all of his gas early? He's having a think here. And looks like he's going to allow the Show and Tell to resolve. And we'll see a Sneak Attack come in from Robert's side, and an Orcish Bowmaster from Chase's, pinging Robert for 1. So, well, we've got an activation on the Sneak Attack, putting Attrax into play. He's going to reveal the top 10 cards of his library. He's going to be able to take a couple of those with him, and then also attack with Attraxa and pick up 7 life. So he's in pretty good shape and against Chase's board on the other side, especially picking up a Grizzlebrand, a fetch land, a Force of Will, and a blue card to even protect as well. His choice of a Ponder or a Show and Tell here. So it looks like he's probably going to take the Show and Tell, maybe? Yeah, the Show and Tell. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's, next turn, it's pretty much locked up unless Chase magically has a Stifle in his deck, which I don't think he does. So we'll see an attack for 7 here, putting Robert up to 17, and we'll see Attraxa die at the end of turn off of the Sneak Attack. So we'll pass that back over to Chase here in a moment. We are in pretty much garbage territory here for Chase. I don't think he has much he can do unless he can find a Grief off the top, being able to get that Grizzlebrand out of his hand. But even then, there's a Force of Will, but Chase could reanimate that as well. So we'll see a Wasteland on the Ancient Tomb, and looks like it's probably just going to be a pass. Well, we're going to see the attack first and then a pass back. So an attack for 8. Nope. 7. Not sure why he's leaving the Bowmaster back. Maybe he's hoping and praying that Grizzlebrand doesn't have flying. But we'll see. Like maybe he was holding it back just in case that he had a Simian Spirit Guide in his hand, activated it, and blocked with the Grizzlebrand, then able to draw 7 more cards. I could see that line as well, but we'll see an activation on the show and tell and attack for 7. Chase is an attempt to reanimate at sorcery speed, and we'll see you in game number 2. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Welcome back to game number 2. Both players have kept 7 again. We'll see Robert with some pregame effects, putting a Leyline of Sanctity out. Chase is going to be on the play and plays a Ponder. We'll get the top 3 cards and see what he likes. And if he likes it, then he'll keep it. If not, then he'll shuffle that away and draw a fresh card. And he's definitely taking his sweet-ass time trying to decide what the best course of action is. And it looks like he likes what he saw. He's going to put 2 back and pass over to Robert. Robert leads off with an Ancient Tomb, knocking himself in the head for 2 damage, and plays a Defense Grid. Chase will have none of that, and we'll see it go back over to Chase. Not much to really talk about in this game, because I kind of went over it in game number 1, but post-board it can get a little bit better for them. We'll see a Troll Cycle there, a Reanimate, and we've seen this Song and Dance before, and there is a 6/5 in play. We'll see if Robert can actually make anything out of this game, like he did last game. Another Druid Leyline of Sanctity, those definitely feel bad when you do that, and only has another Ancient Tomb. I think he was hoping to draw into a blue source or a fetch land or something like that. Brainstorm from Chase again, just resetting his hand, making sure he can dump all those scam cards out of there that are no good against that Leyline of Sanctity. And there's 1 and 2, and if he has a fetch land, he can shuffle those away, and it's like magic. No pun intended. So Robert is steadily waiting for Chase, who is fresh to cantripping. He's used to smacking people in the face with initiative creatures, and making people leave angrily and saltily. He does have the fetch land, so he's going to be able to shuffle away those 2 cards that he just put back on top, unless he's absolutely in love with them, and in that case, he can keep them. But if not, he has that fetch land to clear the air. So Robert is looking like he's got a heavy hand there and a long sigh, and I think that might be it for his turn. It is. Back over to Chase, who's about to put 6 more damage up on Robert's face, and a Wasteland, which makes him sad as well. I guess Chase did love that card that was on top because he didn't fetch. And Chase sitting there with a Force of Will in his hand for anything that Robert wants to do, and Robert says, nah, I'm good. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Both players have kept 7 yet again. Robert Monroe leads off with a Seiju who shelters all, and Chase is going to say, nah, I'm good on that, and get that shit out of here. He'll Wasteland them and pass it back over to Robert. Thank God Robert has an island, and he has a Brainstorm. So we'll see him pick up 3 of his favorite cards off the top of his deck, and have to put 2 of them back that he doesn't like as much. So he has a Show and Tell, another Brainstorm. I can't really see everything that's in his hand. Hand cam's coming soon. Hashtag I hope so. And it looks like he's going to put that Brainstorm back and something else that we're not quite sure of. But if he stacks it like that, we'll get to see it next turn, because that'll be the top card he draws. So that's it, and we'll see a pass back over to Chase, who just puts his vape back in his pocket right before he draws. Let's see what Chase has for us this time. A Silly Wasteland won't do anything right now, but we're going to see a Grief pitching an Orcish Bowmaster. Robert's deciding whether he wants to let Chase into his pants, or he wants to try and Force a Will this. Chase does have up Daze mana, so Daze doesn't really get there. Looks like Robert is going to be putting out on this date. Maybe. No. Robert says, no, thank you, sir. My pants are closed until at least the second date. We'll see if Chase has the second date in his hand. We're going to see Ed Daze. So it looks like he's got the date rape drug, and it's going to go through. And Robert is 2 for 1 himself, so that's a great Hymn to Torok from Hymn to Torok plus Thoughtseize, I guess I should say, from Chase, without actually having to do anything. So I think we take that Show and Tell or that Atraxa, probably the Atraxa, as he has 2 different enablers to kind of get him going here. Robert leaving a little less satisfied than he thought he'd be, but he does draw a fetch land, so he can play that this turn, pass, and be able to show and tell his heart's content, or just hard slam a sneak attack. So we'll see another draw from Robert here. That's that brainstorm he put back. So we'll see the Storms of the Brain, and he'll get to look at another 3 of his favorite cards in his deck and put 2 less likely cards that he wants in his hand back on top. See, it looks like he found a defense grid there, so that's a plus. He's got to put 1 more back, I think, or I can't count. He did find another Atraxa as well, which is really fucked up. But he can put that back on top as well, play that defense grid after he plays his town. But he's going to pass back over to Chase, who's going to cycle another Troll Boy, and hopefully Robert is ready for that, because last game, that thing absolutely pummeled him. Chase has a Hydroblast in his hand, so hopefully Robert doesn't hardcast that sneak attack. Otherwise, he's going to be in some hurt. We'll see a draw. It is a card that he did want to keep on top and not shuffle away. Hopefully it's a City of Traders, and he gets that defense grid that he has in his hand onto the board to try and stop whatever is going on in Chase's brain. There's that city. Are we going to see the defense grid? No. We will see something. Nope, just kidding. We're just tapping mana to have fun and just making sure it still works, kind of thing. We're having a good think here. Oh, yeah. Oh, nope. Damn, he got us again, guys. I'm not entirely sure what he's thinking about, but it must be important for him to tap that land for a 3rd time. And there's the show and tell. We're going to see a Force Negation out of Chase, and on the way to the graveyard. Actually, to exile, because the Force is no fun even for lone players or show and tell players. Another draw off the top. And there's a Petal. We like petals. And maybe defense grid this time? Oh, man, we like picking that land up. It is good. All right, there's the defense grid. We'll see if Chase has anything to say about that. Doesn't look like he has anything in his hand to really counteract that defense grid here. So we might see him. Well, there's not really anything he can do. Flashing a Bowmaster maybe, which is what he's going to do. All right, that makes sense. He'll hit Robert for 1, and he'll make his little Orc army. So he's got 2 power on board. Nothing to be ashamed of from a light mana based deck. Pass back over to Chase, and we'll see a fetch land and a swing for 2. He is on his way. So back over to Robert. So Chase is just reading defense grid to see how it works. Defense grid says you can cast a spell on your opponent's turn, but it costs 2 more mana to do, kind of thing. So we'll see a sneak attack come into play, or enter onto the stack, I should say. And it looks like it has. Alright, so it hasn't resolved yet. So it's on the stack still. Alright, now it has resolved. And he had to pitch his Atraxa, so he doesn't have any gas to actually do anything with at the moment. But Chase definitely has enough damage here. He's got him on a 6-turn clock now. A draw, and lo and behold, just like always, the show and tell deck just top decks what it needs. And we're going to see an attack for 15 from Robert, doing a Annihilator 6 trigger, causing Chase to sacrifice everything but the Bowmaster. So now we're on a 12-turn clock. We'll see if he can pull it out here. Robert is going to take 1, and apologize for the live totals coming in very slowly because the Stream Decker decided to take a shit in the middle of this match. So that happens. So nope, no luck there from Robert. So we'll see a pass back over to Chase, who's going to attack for 1 again, putting Robert down to 10. Another draw from Robert. Oh, look at there. The exact same fucking thing happened again. There's an Emrakul, and thanks for watching. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.